The Premier League title race could be set for another twist and turn this weekend. Two massive games, Arsenal versus West Ham on the Saturday and Manchester City versus Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool last night drew to Aston Villa in a game which they should have come back with the 3 points. Darwin Núñez missed two absolute sitters, but it has opened the door for Arsenal to close that gap from 8 points down to 5. Let me know your thoughts on the title race. Do you think Arsenal or Liverpool will win? Make sure you drop a like on the video if you haven't already. 90% of you watch the content and not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? And also, more Henry Talks Football. I have launched a second channel. I will pin it in the description and I will also pin it in the comments. Go over and subscribe to that channel. More football content is coming. But I want to talk about the Premier League title race. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating stuff, what we're seeing right now. Liverpool, 26 games played, 7 draws, 1 loss, 61 points. And I said a couple of days ago, if Liverpool are going to drop points, it is going to be in these next 3 games. Now, Manchester City last night got absolutely dismantled by Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. However, I think they have something in store for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have drawn 2 of their last 3 games in the league. To Everton, they scraped a win past Wolves, and they drew to Aston Villa. Are we seeing Liverpool lose their grip on this Premier League title, or is this just a bit of a blip? Now, I want to start with Liverpool's fixtures they've got coming up, because they're not easy by any stretch of the imagination, their next 3 games. So there's that 2-2 draw with Liverpool. Manchester City on the Sunday. And then on the 26th, they then play, or it might even be the 23rd, they then play Newcastle. Now, that's not an easy run of games. Newcastle are very unpredictable, and at times they can cause... Sorry, they play City on the 23rd, then play Newcastle on the 26th. They can cause upsets. Then they've got another Merseyside derby next month and a cup final. Cody Gakpo, according to FootMob, they're actually saying that he will be out until I believe the actual FootMob have actually come out and said that he's out until, around early March time. You know, on the injury and suspension tab yesterday, it actually said Cody Gakpo is out until late March, as you can see right here. Now, that is massive for the Premier League title race. Cody Gakpo, for me, has been Liverpool's second best forward this season behind Mohamed Salah. Now, Darwin Núñez right now is not firing on all cylinders, and he's poor. Luis Diaz, I think he's got 1 goal in 15 games, and it just opens the door up for me for Arsenal. Now, before we get into the Arsenal side of things, Liverpool's run after the cup final on the 16th of March is actually a pretty decent run of games for them. You know, I think I fancy them in a lot of their games. Before the final, they've got Southampton, they've got Leicester away, Spurs at home, West Ham at home, Everton at home, Chelsea away, and then they've got that big game on the 10th of May where they play Arsenal. Can Arsenal close the gap? That is the $1 million question. You know, if they beat West Ham at the weekend, which I do expect them to beat, the gap will be down to 5 points. Knowing the fact that the following day, Manchester City will be playing Liverpool. Now, let's be brutally honest. Liverpool should be comfortably beating Manchester City. They are a poor side right now. They've just been knocked out of the Champions League. They're out of the League Cup. They've only really got the FA Cup and top 4 to play. I think Arsenal will comfortably go and put 3 or 4 goals, or maybe not 3 or 4 goals, 2 or 3 goals past West Ham because they are a poor side. Then the big game for them is on the 26th against Nottingham Forest. That is a massive game for them. Nottingham Forest are one of the best sides in the league at home. They've got a lot of dangerous players. Wood is I think he's got 18 league goals this season. Ilanga is on good form. Hudson-Odoi, ex-Chelsea, I think he may have something for Arsenal. And then after that, they play Manchester United away, and then they play Chelsea, then they play Fulham, and then they play Everton. Now, Bukayo Saka and Martinelli should be available for the Chelsea and Fulham game. So that is a massive, massive boost in terms of their forward line. You've also got to remember the Champions League fixtures will be played in and around these fixtures. I think Arsenal's win changes everything in the Premier League title race. That puts a huge amount of pressure on Liverpool going into that Manchester City game. Now, do Arsenal have enough in the tank to push Liverpool to the very, very end? Well, this was their lineup against Leicester. They played in a 2-0 win. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal had to rely on Mikel Merino, who come off the bench, who scored two, really, to be fair to Merino, he took both the goals really, really well. He took them like a striker would. I don't think Raheem Sterling, you can rely on him in terms of a goal output. Leandro Trossard is their other senior forward. He's having to be fair to him, a very up and down season. 1 minute Trossard scores goals. The next minute he goes a little bit missing. He's got 9 goal contributions in 25 in the league, and he's got 3 in 8 in the Champions League. He's got, 12 goal contributions in around 35 games, which isn't the best return. But they do have Ethan Nwaneri, who right now is a hidden gem that essentially has saved Arsenal £100 million. He's 17 years of age. He's got flair. He can cut in on that left foot, and he looks a top player. And they're also relying on Miles Lewis-Skelly. So Arsenal are trusting their youth. They're trusting their academy. Is it enough, though? Liverpool have got firepower in Salah, Gakpo when he's back, Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez does now and then turn out of a couple of goals. Or will Liverpool bottle it? If, like, a lot of Liverpool fans online last night were saying that if Arsenal beat West Ham, they can see themselves dropping points against Manchester City. Now, I'll be honest, if they do drop points against Manchester City, let's say for hypothetical reasons, Liverpool drew again, they'd be on 62 points, right? And let's say Arsenal went and somehow beat Nottingham Forest. So Arsenal would be on 59 points and Liverpool would be on 62. Then Liverpool have to play Newcastle, so they'd have an extra games played as well. Now, don't get me wrong, both sides have got a lot of fixtures coming up. The Champions League draw as well. I think Liverpool do have, they've either got, I think they've got PSG or Benfica. And I think Arsenal have got PSV or Feyenoord. So they're both, I would say, going to be clear favourites for their Champions League game. But when you look at the point they're in right now, I just think I look at them and just think this Premier League title race has got so many twists and so many turns. It is still open. If Liverpool beat Man City and go and beat Newcastle, then I think we'll all be sitting here talking about completely differently about this. But you look at the way that Liverpool played against Wolves, not convincing enough against Aston Villa, drawing against Everton in the last minute. They are on a little bit of a wobble. What I would say in terms of a positive thing for Liverpool is at least they're not losing games. They are still getting points. They're 8 points clear, although Arsenal do have a game in hand. But if the gap goes down to 5 points on Saturday, then it's going to be very, very interesting going into that period of games when it's Liverpool, Newcastle, and Arsenal, Forest. Make sure you go down and drop a like. Make sure you have that subscribe button. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. I am out.